What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and in this video I'm going to be giving you guys a review of the Dread Owl banner and all of the characters that come with that update, including Heath, which is going to be a Grand Tour Battle unit tomorrow I believe. And as always, I want to thank ShailorMercury for the layout. Her Twitter link is going to be in the description, you can check that out. And the first unit I'm going to take a look at is the star of this banner, Leila. So she's playable in FEH and I really like that fact. I also want to compare the stats which are speculated and the ones they end up having. So at top we have Leila's stats which are speculated on the right side. So I expected her to have a lot of attack. She ends up with 36. I didn't expect her to have like 41 speed. She's the fastest dagger unit in the game. So I just expected 37, so I was completely off like offensively. But with resistance I was 1 point off, and defense wise it doesn't really matter. She still has pretty low defense, and with life and death she's just a glass cannon basically. She's a colorless dagger unit, so doesn't really have any kind of weapon triangle disadvantage or advantage. Her weapon is constant dagger, which gives her +3 speed, so she already has 41 base speed, and with this she ends up with 44 base speed. Then she's got life and death 4, and her weapon gives her even more speed when she initiates combat. So she is just extremely fast unit, is gonna be doubling a lot of things, and on top of that she also has a speed super boon, so she could have 48 speed at base with this weapon equipped of course, and then even more with life and death 4 and her weapon. So it's incredible how fast she is. She also has defense and resistance super boon, which don't really matter for a player phase unit like her, so getting plus speed IV is gonna be good. She does have an HP super bane, but I don't think it's the biggest deal. So her weapon gives her +3 speed and gives her +5 attack and speed when she initiates, and if she's within 2 spaces of a support partner, then the foe cannot counter attack, so basically gets the fire sweep effect on her weapon, which is just incredible because life and death 4 does reduce her defense, so she doesn't really have to care about her surviving the combat when the foe cannot even counter attack unless they have got null counter disrupt, but that is usually not going to be happening. You don't really face teams with null counter disrupt on their defense teams. Nobody really does that. So really solid effect, but on top of that she has another effect where after the combat she can swap places with her support partner if the support partner is within 2 spaces of course. So it's like a swap plus essentially, and that is just incredible, provides so much mobility. This is going to be so much fun to use, and it does have a lot of applications. Obviously in any kind of game mode it's going to be really fun to use and can open up a lot of options, but in something like Aịthrið's offense, she can be used for hit and run basically with a dancer, or if you run like a flying dancer with aerobatics, that could also be much better. And she can also be used with some other vantage sweepers like Kronia or Matthew himself, or any kind of broadly fan user, because Leila just goes in and debuffs the foe and can get like maybe Savage Blow or even like spread Pulse Smoke on an infantry pulse team. So that could be done, and then she swaps places with the other unit, and then the other unit can just continue the onslaught. And she can also be used with a tank because once again she does do the debuffs, and she can swap places with the tank, and then basically the tank can take on the remaining enemy team, and she does have the power to take out the enemy in a single round of combat because of how fast she is, and she's definitely going to be pretty powerful as well. So it's going to be really fun unit to use right there, and I'm going to try to get her because of that. So overall I'm really impressed with the implementation of Leila. But still, nonetheless, I'm really scared to look at Forging Bonds dialogue because I know it's going to break my heart. And as for her build, you don't really have to do too much. Like any kind of special Moonbow Glimmer is going to be fine. And you just have to replace Lobby skill with something like a Lull skill or even Disarm Trap for Aịthriðs. And obviously if you plan to use her without a support partner, if you just want to keep her single, then I guess Desperation. But in my opinion, you should definitely try to use her with a support partner because this is so unique, so interesting and so fun. For Slotsy you could run Pulse Smoke against infantry pulse teams, that's going to be really helpful. You could also run Panic Smoke I guess, but Pulse Smoke is overall going to be more useful, and if you don't really have access to those, then Attack Smoke is fine as it is. And that's Leila basically. Incredibly powerful unit, the star of this banner, and I know a lot of people are going to be trying to get her. She also has really good art and really good voice acting, so that helps too. And the next unit we have is Nils. Now, I have to bring the unfortunate news that Nils doesn't have the cute little tune which he had in FE7 when he used to play his flute, and he also doesn't like twirl and hop around while using his flute, so that is just unacceptable. And this is the flute which breaks Camel's back, and I have no choice but to uninstall Faye at this point. So Nils has got these stats, and let's compare it to the ones I expected. He's got less attack than what I expected. I expected way too much, honestly, now that I think about it. He's got 1 speed point more than what I expected, and overall has a balanced stat line. He doesn't have like low resistance like I expected, so I was pretty off on Nils, except for his speed maybe. So he's obviously gonna be better stat-wise compared to Ninian, having more BST. He actually has 166 BST. I expected him to have 162. So that's also something which I missed. But yeah, so he does have pretty high HP, and that is really good for infantry pulse teams in ether raids and in general for a lot of the different game modes. If you use him with like Blade Tome mages, you could definitely make use of infantry pulse, or for setting up something like special spiral on those kinds of mages or units. So there, Nils can definitely help with his high HP. And his weapon Frost Breath can provide some good utility in form of debuffs, because these debuffs are going to be on all stats. And this can be done to multiple foes, because at start of turn when you're setting up, you could have this kind of debuff, and then when you use play on an ally after that ally has done some havoc, you're going to be able to provide those debuffs once again. So that's incredible for the extra utility that comes with this. And his new skill is Even Pulse Tie. Now this does count the foes who have got their special ready. The translation in the English version is a bit misleading. So for example, you cannot dodge this if you have, say, a dancer on an infantry pulse team where you've got Ophelia. The effect is not going to be going to the dancer. It's still going to be going towards Ophelia, because Ophelia has got her special ready, if it makes sense. So basically this is a pretty niche skill, and you could use this on units who already have high HP, like a Versa and Battlefield, which you would use for support in ether raids, or any kind of dancer, Nils himself obviously, for this kind of support. But then again, you're going to be missing out on Wings of Mercy, and this is not going to be useful that much in in-game content, because most of the time the main legendary or mythic unit has their special ready, and they have like 70-80 HP. So unless you have built up an Arden with like 90 plus HP specifically, I don't think this is going to be helping you there. And this is actually going to be annoying to face ourselves as the players, because they're definitely going to be putting this on the abyssal maps. Of course they are. They have got their insane HP units, and they have already done like sudden panic on many of the abyssal enemies. So yeah, this is definitely going to be happening. It's going to be so annoying. Imagine having a special spiral. Yeah, this is exactly what they're going to be doing. Yeah, a lot of people clear the maps, the abyssal content with special spiral mage with like 3 dancers, and this is it. They have got the thing on special spiral. It's going to be so annoying. I mean, you could set it up again, but is this so convenient to use any kind of like nuke mage like Ophelia with special spiral and just clear the thing? And as for his build, you could actually change up the slot beat to something like Sudden Panic if you stack up some HP on him, because he does have that kind of HP. So once again, you could get more utility out of this. And the next unit we have is Rath. I've been waiting for this man for so long, and he's finally in the game, and he's usable, he's viable. His stat spread is pretty decent, same offensive stat spread as Brave Lane, but obviously doesn't have Mola gear, and his offensive stat spread is also pretty similar to that of Python's, but at least like defensively he's not that polarizing. He does have a resistant super boon, but it's not going to be helping him too much, and I would have liked if they gave him like attack or speed super boon, but unfortunately he does not. He just has 1 more point of attack than Python, and Python does have way more defense but really low resistance, so that's the thing. But I'm overall really excited for him to be in the game. I'm definitely going to be plus and merging him, and he's actually going to get demoted to 4-star and 3-star rarity after the banner is over, because they did explicitly state this here. So Wolf of Sake is now available as a part of 4-star category, so you have more chance of getting him in this banner itself if you summon on greenstones. And in the last line, they say that after the banner, this hero will appear as a 3-star and 4-star in the future summoning event. So this is just really hype, because he's not going to be acting as a pity breaker in the green color, and he's going to get demoted to 3-star. And I guess this is why they stopped with the instant demotion 3-star 4-star units, like an extra unit. They used to have this on the banner, and I guess now they're just going to be having like a 4-star focus, and then they're going to be demoting that unit after the banner. I like that actually because it means more chances of getting that unit, at least on the focus banner, because of the focus 4-star raid. So I like that. And as for his fodder, at 4-star, he has got speed res form. Didn't really expect that actually. So defense smoke is 5-star logged. Pain does have defense smoke, but defense smoke is in general more of a universal skill, which a lot of units can use compared to something like speed res form. So I would have liked if defense smoke was at 4-star, but I'm not really going to be foddering him off anytime soon because I'm going to be plus and merging him. So as for his builds, you just want to go with the offensive route. That's at least what I'm going to be doing. Slaying bow is pretty decent, but you could also try short bow from Python, so that could be done. And you could also run the bow which Halloween Rolf has got, which has got the Fury built in. So that's another option, I guess, for you if you want to increase the stats. And for his kind of stat line, a budget Fury Desperation set is going to be fine. And if you want to do more investment, then you could go with Swiss Barrow 3, Death Blow 4, or Attack Speed Solo, something of that nature. And for slot B, you could run Desperation or like any kind of lull skill. So I was kind of close to his speed. His speed turned out to be 35. He didn't have as much attack as I expected, and they didn't really min-max him that much in the defensive side. So yeah, that's Rath. And the final unit we have on this banner is Fiora. For her stats, I was spot on with her resistance. I mean, they did show her iceberg damage. All the 3 defense points which I put here went into her speed, and she ends up having 38 speed and low 32 attack. But that's fine though, because her slot B skill can help her mitigate her low attack, because I believe that she's got the highest resistance out of any kind of lance flyer. And Pegasus Flight is a pretty good skill actually, and this is locked to only sword, axe, and lance flying units. So beast units like Nisala cannot really use them. And this skill is good for units like Claire, Shida, units with high speed, high resistance. Those kinds of units can make most out of this skill. And I'm kind of sad that even though she's going to be a 5-star logged unit, they didn't bother to give her Fury 4. That just would have been much better in the regular summoning pool. So her attack is not really all that stellar, and neither is her defense. And she mainly wants to trigger this skill. And she does have a super boon in resistance, so that could help her negate even more damage and do just more damage herself because of the second condition of Pegasus Flights. And this skill also had a mistranslation, but I've kind of fixed that in the mage because it was pretty easy to fix by just having minus and stuff plus. So at start of combat, she compares her speed stat with the foe, and if she's got more speed after subtracting 7 speed from foe, then this skill activates and then proceeds to compare her resistance with the foe. And depending on the difference between their resistance stats, she can inflict penalty on foes' attack and defense during combat, and that's 50% of the difference between resistance, and this can go up to -7, and that's good. It's kind of like a lull skill, but flyers cannot really inherit lull skill, so it's like this version for them. And this can be pretty nice for making her bulky and obviously mitigating her attack. But once again, she is just another lance flyer. And ShailorMercury actually put up this kind of schedule for the forging bonds. If you want to capitalize on this, you could try to do that whenever the 2.0 multiplier is going on. So yeah, that could be helpful. And speaking of lance flyers, we have another one as a Grand Tour Battle unit. And his Grand Tour Battle is going to be coming out on 18th, I believe. And as you would expect from his stats, it's just mediocre average, which is fine, I guess, if you want to merge him up, because this kind of stat line is going to be getting better with merges and stuff. But then again, most units do get better with merges, and it's not really anything too bad or too good, but yeah, it's really hard to, I guess, make Lance Flyer stand out. But I'm happy for the fans of Heath who have been expecting him. He's finally in the game. Unfortunately, doesn't have the best fodder. Has attack defense push. Just why? These kinds of tier 3 push skills are really bad. Tier 4 push skills is where the juice is at. But of course, they're not going to be giving those for free. But still, they could have given like an actual useful skill on slot A. I don't know. An escape route locked to 5-star rarity. Which is just so funny. He has got Dragon Fang, which is definitely not his optimal special. You just want to run Bonfire or Ignis, something like that with the Slaying Lance. So his build is gonna be pretty similar to what you run on enemy phase Lance Flyers, but because of his awkward speed stat, you could try to build him up offensively. But once again, there are just so many Lance Flyers who can do that offensive role just much better than Heath. He's gonna be having the bulk while being offensive, not gonna lie, but still, You know, if you just wanna build an offensive lance flyers, there are just so many options available. And if you haven't built up like an arena core, then he is a unit you could build up to +10, and he can score 170 BST without a dual skill. So that's another thing which you could do with him. He also has Rider's Bane as his weapon, and most of the cavalry units are going to be able to blast him from a distance who are a threat to him. And those are just ranged cavalry units, and you cannot really do anything against them. So that's Heath. So overall, this is a pretty average banner, I would say, to the usual people. But if you're an FE7 fan, you're going to be really overjoyed on this banner like I am. Because you've got Nils, Leila, Rath. So yeah, if you don't really care too much about FE7, then I guess you could pass up on this banner. Because Nils is a dancer, and if you don't really care about infantry pulse dancers and stuff like that, then you could pass on him. Rath is gonna get demoted, and Fᴇɪṛix, another lance flyer. Leila is in a unique position because of her interesting weapon. So even if you don't care about FE7, her weapon seems like something you definitely want to try out, and it could have quite a bit of potential, but time will tell how good this turns out to be. So that is going to be the review. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then please make sure to like and comment. And when you subscribe, please be sure to hit the notification bell so that you can always get the updates to my videos whenever I upload. Because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as having escape route being 5-star logged in 2020. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.